we've been getting lots of questions about the drones. What are they? I wish I could answer that question. I have heard some very interesting ideas. Some are scary, some are funny, some are a little silly. Some don't make any sense at all. So I guess at the end of the day, it's anybody's guess. But we did want to talk a little bit about what drones look like and why some of the reports are interesting. And so one of the reasons why some of the reports are interesting is they don't fit the standard type of drone that you're going to find at Walmart or Best Buy or Amazon. And so we have a couple images of some just very typical drones that you'll see. And anything that flies in the sky that is man-made is probably more Jared's area of expertise. But Jared, you want to talk about that?
As far as the drones go, yeah, I mean, they all kind of look like drones for the most part. I mean, I think there are some that are kind of defying the drone physics or whatever, but not very many of them. So I don't know what stories you've heard. The one story that makes sense to me that I cannot back up, I can't corroborate or nothing, but supposedly they may be out sniffing for radioactive materials. Supposedly there was a shipping container that was damaged that had some stuff in it. Now that stuff's missing. So they sent it out, sent out all these drones to go see if they can't sniff it out. And of course, our friends from other places are always interested in that type of stuff. So they might be intermixed in there with it. I don't know. That's purely a guess on one story that I heard that's not backed up with any facts. So that's all I know.
And I've heard that as well. Maybe you can take a moment and talk a little bit about the required lighting on that.
Well, yeah, the required lighting on the drone, just like an airplane, you have to have red on one side, you have to have green on the other side. You have to have a license actually to operate these drones. You're supposed to put in requests to operate them, and then they'll populate on maps that aviators will use that'll say there's a certain area where drones are going to be operating, and then they'll say altitudes and stuff like that. I don't know if any of those are out there because I haven't looked at any of those maps because I don't fly in there, so not really concerned about that. If there are, they should be what they call DROTM noticed airmen type of thing that should let everybody know that the drones are out there. But the lighting, like I said, you got to have red on one side, green on the other side. That's really about it. You really shouldn't be flying them around in the dark. So at least with all the lights off and everything. But yeah, obviously you got a picture there of all kinds of different ones. The military's got a whole bunch of them. Most of the ones that the civilians use are going to be small, really tiny. So the huge ones that I've heard have been flying around, size of small cars and stuff like that, those have got to be civilian, or I'm sorry, got to be military, because there ain't no way civilian going to be able to afford anything like that. So
Yeah,
I really don't know what else you really would want to know that I can tell you.
Here in Fargo, we see a lot of interesting things in the sky. We do have Reapers and Predators here that fly over our skies quite a bit because they have a training center in Fargo, in North Fargo. So some of you here in Fargo may have seen some very interesting drones in our skies. Would you be able to elaborate, Jer, on other common lights you might see on drones and whether or not they need a white strobe?
Oh, yeah, okay. The anti-collision lights, they're normally red. Sometimes they're white. Sometimes they're blinky white. Tail lights are normally white on the end of them. Sometimes they're going to have landing lights or search lights kind of out in front of them. And that's just mainly to help them with landing. If that's what you're looking for, I'm not sure what else. You're really putting me on the spot.
I know I am. I know I am. So my apologies for that. Sometimes we will see purple lights. Sometimes the police will have blue lights on theirs as well. So different organizations will use some other color configurations. There might be even orange lights on them. All of those are normal depending upon who's using them. So just a little info there. If you look up in the sky and it looks like a drone, but you see some strange colored lights, it could be military, it could be police, law enforcement, or it could be a commercial drone as well. So we have a question that is asking, is there such thing as a silent drone? The answer to that is yes, it just depends on how far away you are. So they'll all probably make some noise, but particularly if there's a lot of background noise, if there's wind, especially here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, we always have wind, you might not be able to hear it. If it's high enough up, you might not be able to hear it. Have we ever received any reports to MUFON? Yes, and I've investigated quite a few of them over the years. We can never be 100% certain unless we find whoever was flying it. But based on the description, especially if they have a picture and we're looking at that light configuration, we can be pretty sure it's probably a drone. Do we know how fast these drones can move? So yes, it depends on what kind of drone. So obviously the drones that you get at Walmart are probably not going to be able to move very fast. The military's drones can move very fast. Jared would probably be a better person to answer as to what their top speed is, but I know that they're pretty quick. Some of those drones can fly at very, very high altitudes as well.